Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Let me know if you guys can hear me, see me, all the things. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I know some of you probably didn't even watch it last night. I didn't see a lot of people talking about Salt Lake City on X and things like that. So shout out to everyone watching on X. Because it was a big day here in America because there were a lot of elections going on, very important elections, including an election here in New York City. Congratulations to Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City, the first Muslim mayor of New York City, the 111th mayor of New York City. He's also probably the youngest mayor that we've had in the last 10 years. You guys know I'm big on numbers. You know I'm big on my numerology. 111th mayor, 111, and it's a full moon in Taurus. You're welcome, New York City. You are truly welcome. I do want to say congratulations to the women across this country that won and set some new records. In Detroit, first woman mayor of Detroit, Mary Sheffield. Congratulations to her. First black mayor of Syracuse goes to Sharon Owens. Congratulations to her. We also had Dorsey Pliers. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. First black mayor of Albany. Congratulations to her. We also had Mickey Sherrill elected the governor of New Jersey. And then we also had, hold on. I know we had in Virginia, we had a win there as well. Hold on, why can't I see? Can't get the names here. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Hold on. I want to get the full name. Please hold. Because I had it here and then it went away. Hold on. Virginia. Hold on. There we go. All right. Abigail Spangberger. There we go. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to all the candidates that won last night. And congratulations to all of you that voted. Okay? Okay. And Abigail, she's the first female governor. All right. A lot of firsts. And if you follow me here on YouTube, I mentioned to you guys, I've always said this. If you've been following the channel for a long time, I said I would like to see more female, women in positions of power. And I know exactly why men are so bothered and scared of that happening is because they know that they are the solution to a lot of the problems that we have around the world, not just here in the country, but I think slowly but surely we will definitely get to see it. All right, so congratulations to all of the elected officials. Congratulations to all of those of you that voted in these elections. Congratulations to us here in New York City. I'm very excited, and if you haven't seen Zohran Mamdani's speech, I did repost it on X, so shout out to those of you watching on X. You can see it on my profile there. It's about 22-minute speech. 11-11. You know, I'm big on my numbers. 20. He's the 111th mayor of New York City. 22-minute speech. And it happened on a full moon in Taurus. Can I just take my bow for now? Can I just take my bow for now? Shout out to the young lady. Hold on. I know her name. Hold on. I want to get it. Because I owe you my life because, I've been checking QVC for the last week because I needed to order a new Christmas tree. Shut up. Don't judge me. I didn't decorate yet. I'm planning, though. If you haven't started planning, I wish you luck. Between the terrace and everything's like, Dion, this is not pre-recorded. Hey, girl. I want to say thank you to the young lady that sent me the update. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. She sent me a message yesterday. Cherie, thank you so much I'm so glad I checked my spam folder because, normally I really don't. But I checked it this morning and she sent me a message yesterday saying QVC has Christmas trees on sale. And remember, I've been checking and my tree from last year that I loved but ended up getting damaged. I had to return. I ordered it. Thank you, Cherie. My community looks out for me. And look, like this be a heads up. If you're looking for a new Christmas tree, there's your opportunity. QVC just launched their Christmas trees and they're all on sale. Don't judge me. Leave me alone. All right. And you'll start to see the studio change as well. Lavender says, started planning today. Yeah, no one's saying you have to decorate. But if there are things that you want, buy them now. Because I'm telling you right now. Cindy says, loving the new hoodie. Are you okay? Well, some people aren't okay today. Some people aren't okay, but, some of us are. Right? Right. All right. So I wanted to say all of that. Let's get into our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. All right. I did not see Watch What Happens Live, and I did not see Wife Swap. Woo to Emily Simpson. Woo. Her episode might be the lowest episode. Look, I don't know. I'm just guessing. It might be the lowest rated episode. It's not her week, though. You know why? First of all, a lot of people weren't even looking forward to her episode. Sorry. Oh. I'm sorry, Emily. But it was also election night. So there were a lot of people that weren't paying attention to anything besides the election, rightfully so. Oh, shout out to California. Prop 50 passed. Congratulations. I forgot about that. Okay. So poor Emily. I'm going to watch it, though, because I've been liking the series so far. So Emily's episode aired last night. I will watch it and I'll report back. Danny says Emily was the wrong choice. I think because other people turned it down. I don't know. But the final episode will be Wendy Acefo's episode, which will air on Sunday, right after the Real Housewives of Potomac. Remember, they ended up pushing back the episode. I understand why they pushed back the episode. I think they wanted to make sure whatever's in the episode doesn't implicate her or the network. I'm pretty sure at this particular point, any footage that the prosecutors want, they probably already sent a legal letter to Bravo. I don't know if they have or if they have not, but I would assume. Miss Esquire, I saw you in the chat. Wouldn't you assume that? Just saying. And if not, they better. All right, let's get into our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. This is episode 8? Episode 8 of season 6. The episodes are going quick, right? This is episode 8. Oh my gosh. We're almost halfway through. Can you believe that? And it's been a good season. It's not there aren't a lot of Real Housewives shows where we feel like, oh my God, the season's going too quickly. Oh no. This is the only one. Miami a little bit. Miami, I love me some Real Housewives of Miami as well. Lori says, Kempire, I'm loving the little violin. Thank you, guys. I thought of it. I saw it and I thought of you, all of you. I was like, come on now. Hey, Miss Esquire, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Sidebar, speaking of Detroit, does anyone have communication with Miss Bernice? Because everyone's been asking, and now I've noticed that it's been a period of time and she hasn't called in. So Miss Bernice, if you're watching, drop something in the comments so people know that you're good. And we should be celebrating. You got your first black mayor of Detroit. Black female mayor of Detroit. All right. Miss Esquire says, every time you play the violin, I think of Red Wedding on the Game of Thrones. I know. That was pretty sad too, right? That was pretty sad too. You know, look, I got my look. Where my Game of Thrones? Here it is. Get behind me. The North remembers, right? The North remembers. Okay. All right. Moving back to this. Oh, damn. There we go. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Nelson says, not the red wedding. Yeah, the red wedding. Hey, Nia. Nia's been sending the super chats this week. She paying for lunch. Nia says, I've never seen Lisa so shook. Bronwyn brought it. I have feelings about Bronwyn this week that, you know, normally I like Bronwyn, but I feel like she's annoying me this week. Anyone else? And I'm not a Lisa Barlow fan like that. I'm not a Lisa Barlow fan. But I do feel like they're reaching. Heather too, because you know what annoyed us about Heather when it came to Lisa is now the reverse. It's still now annoying me about this. It just feels like with Heather Gay, Heather goes wherever the wind blows. You know how they used to accuse Garcelle and Sutton of playing to the fans? I feel like that's what Heather's actually doing. Because one minute I was just like, okay, Heather, get out of Lisa's you know what. But now I feel like she's going the complete opposite, but with no actual grounds. And I say that because we're watching an edited show. Based on what we're watching, I don't feel like there are grounds to be thinking that it's Lisa that's behind all this stuff, that she's the mastermind. And where is the proof? And again, we're watching an edited show. Maybe there was proof. Maybe there's something there that's making us look at these other women like they're crazy. I don't know. Cree says she annoyed me for the past 2 weeks. Adam says Bronwyn and Heather both annoy me. I can see why. They both were annoying me this week. And at first I was sort of like, okay, what's happening with Heather? Now all of a sudden she's not Team Lisa. But okay. All right, so let me go through the notes. So it's the next day. I can't wait to watch the episode of Below Deck Down Under to see the crew's perspective and what was going on with the crew. Winter says, I want the hoodie. Houseofkempire.com. Look, y'all act like the merch is not available. Check out the description, houseofkempire.com, HAUS of Kempire.com. The merch is available, and it's a good quality sweatshirt. Some people already got it, and they're like, yeah, I love the quality. Just saying. Oh, I froze. Look, I froze. Mercury retrograde. Blame it on that, Nicki Minaj. All right. Whew. I probably should put on a different shirt because I'm a little hot in here. In the studio. All right. Let me take a sip. All right. So Bronwyn slept on the deck because obviously, see, here's what's annoying me about Bronwyn. I get it. She doesn't like Britani, but it feels like she was trying to befriend Britani, and at any given moment, she throws Britani under the bus. I feel like the cast really treats Britani like their punching bag. And although Sydney said, fix the wire, Kempire. I know, okay, before the new year. And then we can do this for the wire. Okay. All right? The new year. But I do feel like the cast used Britani as a punching bag. And although I don't mind it, because I do like Britani as a part of this cast, as a friend of, that's it. Okay? Damn. Arsha says, Kempire's New Year motive should be changing those wires. I mean, look, guys, we have a quick fix. Look, we got a quick. It's not like I don't have the wire replacement too, but I still need to figure out which wire it is in regards to, because it's connected to one thing. It could be the actual thing that it's connected to. It might not even be the wire, but I have a replacement. I just haven't done it yet because I also have to figure out which one it is. Mind y'all business. Look, y'all still getting the show. I know y'all tired of me jumping down to the den. I almost bumped my head. It's all right. Mr. Melon Mash says, unpopular opinion, but hopefully they keep using her as one so she leaves. Have you not met Britani? I think it would take a whole lot more than what she's been going through for her to quit this show. She loves the attention, Britani. And I don't blame her. I like her for the show. But I've been saying that since last season. It's an unpopular opinion, but I'm okay with being unpopular. So Bronwyn slept on the deck because she and Brittany were not getting along because she literally threw Brittany under the bus the night before. Okay. Dee Dee says, I don't like Brittany. She's no victim. I didn't say she was a victim, but I do feel like they use her as a punching bag, the group, because they find it funny. I feel like sometimes my friends treat me the same way, but I'm not like Brittany in that way. I think people just like seeing my reaction, my facial reactions. So I feel like sometimes my friends do that to me, where they're always like picking at me. You know what I mean? All right. Nelson, who's watching on Twitch, says, I don't like the pileup, low key. Danny says that Brittany is thirsty. Yeah, I agree. I think she knows that too. Andy Cohen says she's thirsty. So Bronwyn ended up sleeping on the deck, and it was because we knew that these two would not be getting along. I don't know who thought. I guess it's just the way that it ended up in regards to who's going to pair up with who. Okay. So moving on. So Bronwyn slept there because she revealed what Brittany had said. And apparently at 3 a.m. there was some sort of rain that happened as she was sleeping out on the deck. There was nowhere else on the inside of this yacht for her to sleep. Or maybe it was too hot. I don't know. Look, we've been on different yachts when it comes to below deck. There's always an interior where she could have slept. Maybe she just wanted to sleep. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. So Heather and Whitney just does not like Lisa. So she was all here for Heather turning on Lisa. And it wouldn't surprise me if this was some sort of plan between some of these cast members. Okay. So Heather says she doesn't want Lisa to look at their friendship as a scorecard. All right. So you remember last week's episode, it ended with Lisa on that floating pad. So Heather ended up going to have a conversation with her. And Heather says to Lisa that she believes that she is the source behind a lot of these rumors that are leaked to the blogs. And Lisa's like, why would you think that? And Heather says it's because you know everything. And she's like, I don't know everything. She's like, people tell you everything. And she says that she actually goes to Lisa anytime she has a question about anyone in the group. So that made me kind of look at Heather with the side eye. Because if you are getting the information from Lisa, you could also be the one implicated here as the one spreading the information. But let's be honest. We know that all of these women speak to the blogs and the bloggers. We know it. I feel like every single one of them do. They just pick and choose who they want to talk to. We saw it before. Monica exposed it that a lot of them were talking to Reality Montees as well. Last season, we saw Whitney on the phone with a blogger. Come on. And then Meredith confirmed she spoke to a blogger. Like, they all do it. And are we to believe they're just speaking to them and they're not telling them anything, not giving them hints, not spread? They all do it. And I always look at housewives that have reached out to me and just want to, they want to be friendly and spill tea and things like that. And one, there are a couple of housewives that don't do that just are friendly. Like, hey, how are you? They check in, blah, blah, blah. But there are some that are they're very strategic. And they think, because I guess I know I look young, but I'm definitely not young or naive. I know what you're doing. Okay? So my sources I get from the other side. So anyway, so I believe that they all do it. So Meredith gets upset with Lisa because then we have the producer cam in Lisa and Meredith's room. I know you're probably like, Kempire, you never liked Lisa. You never liked Meredith. But this week it feels like you do. It's not that I like them, but I could see their side. And this is what happens when you don't take a side and your team you. Because it could be a week where you could see it for Lisa. I think people that are so team whoever, when their person's in the wrong, they can never call them out when they're wrong. You know what I mean? So Meredith and Lisa are having this conversation, and Lisa says, I feel like you don't support me. And Meredith gets upset, and I feel like Meredith has supported her. In the scenes that we've seen of Meredith, yes, Meredith maybe is not as a suck up as a Heather, but I didn't see her falling for what everyone else was falling for against Lisa. She has been a friend to Lisa, so I'm Team Meredith and Lisa this week. I know. Look, okay, and when they come on the daytime talk show, Meredith. No, okay, maybe not. Oh no, when Meredith, I'm like Meredith. How did you get over this? And I'll play it again. Oh wait, not that one.
Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. She can go herself.
Not half of New York. I'm sorry. It tickles me every time. Meredith will not be coming on the daytime talk show, I'm sure. But look, I hope she does. That'll be fun. Because I'm like, Meredith. And for those that are wondering, I made that edit. I just took the audio and I made that edit. Okay? That was me. So that's why it's exclusively here. Okay? Cindy says, we need answers. But Meredith is the ultimate politician. She will have an answer for that. Okay? But I'm ready for it. All right. Anyway, so Meredith gets upset with Elisa, and this is probably why, because you saw the preview for next week's episode where they make it seem as if you remember the rumors that people were saying that Meredith was fired. But I told you from my sources, what I heard is that she wasn't fired. I heard that she had like a break, like she had a breakdown. And so that's what you see them talking about in next week's episode, is that Meredith had some sort of breakdown. And Meredith probably had a breakdown because she felt like everyone was attacking her for not supporting Lisa when she feels like, I have been supporting Lisa. Just saying. All right, moving on, because we have a lot more to talk about. And I got somewhere to be. I told you, look. Thank you, Elsie. Elsie says, Kempire is not is a content creator, not a blogger. I don't care what they call me, because look, they can call me a YouTuber, a TikToker, a content creator. Look, as long as the check clears, right? Right. I mean, some people even call me a journalist. Yes, come on. Okay, come on, journalists. Shout out to all the real journalists out there, okay? Exactly. Chioma says, you forgot, Meredith is a lawyer. Yeah. So Meredith says, just because I don't defend you the way that you speak doesn't mean that I don't defend you. She's like, I don't speak that way. I agree with Meredith this week, y'all. Okay? Mr. Mellow Magic, I'm going to ignore your comment there. Okay? The White Lotus of it all. Okay? Okay, Angie's starting to feel better. All right? Angie's feeling better today, and Lisa comes in. Look who's back from the dead. I mean, at least she's talking to Angie. So she comes in, she's like, look who's back from the dead. Look, Angie's feeling a lot better. I don't know. I feel like Lisa, since we're blaming everything on Lisa, I think Lisa put a hex on Angie. Right? I think that Lisa put a hex on Angie. Angie, she's gotten the the seasickness. Then she slammed her hand in the door. Oh, I felt the pain for her. But did you guys notice that Mary Cosby did not get up at all? She did not get up at all. I was like, why is Mary just still laying there on the bed? Your friend is on the floor. But I was like, okay, maybe she was expecting Bronwyn to do it. Okay. All right. So Angie's feeling better. Brittany and Bronwyn discuss how Bronwyn asked Lisa to reach out to Gwen's parents. So Brittany and Brittany and Lisa had a conversation. And she's like, are you mad at me? She's like, I'm not mad at you. If I was mad at you, you would know. And then they talk about Bronwyn. But Bronwyn's on the upper deck, and she could hear them. And she brings up, and they show the receipt. They show the receipt where Bronwyn says, I think, yeah, it might be a good idea for you to approach Gwen's grandparents. So they actually had the text message where she's like, you did ask me and you lied about it. Well, here's the thing. I need us to stop with the whole narrative when someone merely mentions your child or your family as it being derogatory towards those people. I've seen so many housewives do it in the last year. Can we say that that's not them talking derogatory about Gwen or Gwen's grandparents or Bronwyn necessarily? But it's definitely not talking negative about your child or your family. It's pointing out what you did when we actually have a text message proving it. Bronwyn. Angel says, I love a receipt. Me too. I was like, oh, she did say it. And I could see her saying it because she was estranged from Gwen's grandparents. So I could see her saying that. Not her lying. Portia says, Bronwyn also said in the text, I know you offered. But that's the thing. She offered, and then you said, I think that might be the best thing. So it's not like you didn't give her the go-ahead. Miss Esquire says, yes, the mentioning my child is becoming the new attacking my business. Which I don't even care them attacking each other's business, to be honest with you. The children I can get off limits if the child is not on the show and is not over 18. If they're over 18 and they're on the show, hey, Gia. Just saying. Because if you're going to put them up there and prop them up there and they're over 18, everyone can get it. Okay? Ms. Esquire says, Bronwyn said that verbally as well in the spa, too. Oh, yeah. I forgot. See, Virgo memory. I remember that. So Bronwyn's not innocent here. That's why I don't necessarily trust everything that comes out of Bronwyn's mouth, especially when it comes to that legal situation. It's just conveniently sealed. Okay, Bronwyn, you win this week. Maybe, or last week. You won last week. All right, so Bronwyn overhears Brittany and Lisa talking about this. So she's getting upset and she tells Angie and Mary about it. Okay? Bronwyn jokes to Mary when they get to the breakfast table, can I join you guys in your bedroom? Mary was like, 2 is company, 3 is a crowd. No. I like the fact that Mary can be very forthright with people. Sometimes that can be very off-putting, and she can be a little unpredictable as a friend. But I can also appreciate being straightforward. But that's probably the Taurus in me, because sometimes we can be very straightforward. All right. So Mary says, no, you can't stay in her. I understand. It's not that big of a room. It's already, I'm sure they don't want to even share a room with the person they're sharing a room with. So Bronwyn, then, because Bronwyn brings up the fact that because Brittany was like, you could stay in the room. You could stay in the room with me. And Bronwyn then tries to expose Brittany and say that you were trying to have a crew come to the room. And then they flash. And look, we are watching an edited show. Bronwyn could be talking about another incident, but production shows when Brittany was flirting with Captain Jason. Then they flash back to Captain Jason going to Brittany's room because Brittany was complaining about it being too warm in the room. So let's take it as it is. Bronwyn was reaching because now Bronwyn is trying to make it seem like she had a crew member in the room. Yeah, she had Captain Jason come there to fix the air conditioning, the AC. Is now AC meaning something else on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Okay. All right. But I didn't like how Bronwyn sort of threw it out there. She's forever trying to throw Brittany under the bus. And it just feels a little forced at this particular point. If Brittany was coming for you, then I could understand. But at this particular point, now it feels like you're bullying her. Okay? Like any second that you get to throw Brittany under the bus, feels like that you take it. Patricia says that Brittany is in her hotels era. Well, no, she needs to be in her mommy dearest era. Not mommy dearest, but you know what I mean. She needs to be taking care of her child. All right. So, okay. Let me take a sip. So Meredith blasts that she confirms that Captain Jason was the one that went to Brittany's room. But we saw why he went to the room. Not y'all trying to throw Captain Jason under the bus. Captain Jason went over there to do his job. If anything, Captain Jason, if you watch Below Deck Down Under, he's always been very involved in everything. He doesn't let the crew do everything. Like, he's very a team player in regards to that. So I wasn't surprised that he was there doing everything for them. Okay. Pageant Mommy says, "Oh, please, no one's bullying Britani." Really? This week's episode alone shows that that's what they're doing. No matter how you feel about Britani, sometimes you just have to call a thing, and that's what I'm doing. All right. So Jason went to go fix the AC. Captain Jason went to go fix the AC. Did he go back again later that night? I don't know. So Lisa throws Britani under the bus. She's like, "Look, guys, stop. Captain Jason is not interested, right? Captain Jason's not interested in her." Damn. Oh, one time for Britani. One time for Britani. Oh, she's like, "Captain Jason's not interested in her, right?" She's like, "I'm not getting involved." Okay. Hey, Nusi. Nusi's watching. All right. So Bronwyn calls out Lisa for bringing up her daughter's grandparents, and she goes off on Lisa. She's like, "Don't speak about my family." Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is just Bronwyn trying to play it up for the cameras, but that reaction was a lot over. It was very over the top. And like I said before, I need them to stop with like, "Oh, she's talking about my family." I feel like that's a reach. It's not like she was like, that Gwen, she's loose or something like that. Let me not use an analogy. Then they'll be slamming me, trying to cancel me for saying that. I'm giving you an analogy. Okay. Bronwyn's smart. She's a Virgo. She understands what I'm trying to do. She understands analogies. Well, maybe she doesn't. Because she goes off on Lisa. It's like, "Stop talking about my daughter. And stop talking about my family." That wasn't Lisa talking about your family. She was talking about you lying, saying that that you didn't ask her to talk to the family. Okay? All right. Portia says that Lisa was a little shook. She was. Okay. So Bronwyn reminds Lisa about the agreement that they had, and they flash back to the conversation that Bronwyn and Lisa had where they agreed not to talk about each other's husbands, not to talk about each other's children. Okay. Theo says, Real Housewives don't understand analogies. Well, I wish you luck then with me. Okay. Miss Esquire says, Bronwyn has righteous anger towards Lisa. I think Lisa triggers her. I mean, I can see why in a lot of different respects. Okay. Virgo vibration. There's a lot of Virgos in here. Get out. All you Virgos, get out of here. Virgo vibration. Thank you for being a member. Virgo vibration says, but they had a deal to leave each other alone. But there goes Lisa. Lisa did the same thing about her sons when Angie brought up the products. Good point. Good point. But she could just be using that as an example because remember, last night, we have to remember the night before, they were blaming Lisa for Bronwyn's, that story being leaked. So I can see her be like she's lied on me before. We have to understand that she's bringing up that for a reason. She's bringing it up because she's saying, oh, here she goes again, lying about me. There goes Miss Bernice. Oh, we took a sigh of relief. Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice is here, y'all. Show Miss Bernice some love. Thanks for being a member, Miss Bernice. You were concerned, Miss Bernice. Are you going to call in today? Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice says Britani is Sammy Joe trying to elevate up to Alexis this season. Hashtag Dynasty lives. Congratulations on your new mayor, Miss Bernice. Congratulations. See, everybody is like, she's here. She's here. Yes, Miss Bernice is in the building. We were looking for you, Miss Bernice. And please leave your contact information with one of us so that we are able to check in every once in a while. Oh, Dominic says, I'm a Virgo and I'm not leaving. Y'all know I love the Virgos. Come on. I'm just being facetious because you Virgos can take it. Unlike some of these signs. You know, some of these signs, Pisces, they can't take it. It's funny because it's true. All right, moving along. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, how would you rate it? I thought this was a good episode. It wasn't my favorite episode in regards to the season, but it was a good episode. It was definitely like a 7.5, 8. Maybe an 8.5. Because I missed Mary for the first couple of minutes. I was like, where's Mary? And Mary gave us some funny moments in this episode. Okay? But let me get to the why is Todd always taking L's with this group? Now I can understand why Bronwyn might be a little upset because they're always bringing up Todd. They're always talking about Todd. And Todd did not want this to even happen. All right. Bronwyn says that we had an agreement not to talk about family and the husbands. Angie decides to drop a bomb. Angie's working overtime, hence why she sent her. She sent her on this group. Where's my little cast photo? Angie is working overtime this season, okay? But she's doing a good job, I think. What do you guys think? Scorpio gave it a 9. Miss Esquire gave it an 8. Carla gave it a 7. Bio Miss Flores gave it an 8.5. Jules gave it an 8.5. All right. So Angie brings up that, and mind you, I saw this video, and I mentioned this video in one of my recaps, when they all hung out after the whole, she tried to have her Karen Huger moment with like, all my cases are dismissed. They ended up going to Lisa's tequila bar and hanging out. Everyone, the entire cast, they were all getting along after that. And apparently Lisa pulled her hair and was just like, I know someone, and she apparently Todd was making out with this, like, my good girlfriend, and he was farting the entire time. I mean, Todd is a man of a particular age, and that is very specific. But you spilling this information after people have accused you of being the source of many leaks, I'm like, poor Todd. Like, this is why he doesn't want to be on the show. And after the season, I don't know, y'all. I don't know how, if Bronwyn returns next season, I don't see Todd returning or filming. And if he films, he's going to film just with her. So far, that's all he's done. He hasn't done any group scenes. Okay? So Angie says that this is what Lisa told her at that group situation. So wait, what, Bronwyn's over there and she said this? Was Bronwyn there? I think so, right? So she tells Angie this. So Angie drops that tea. She apparently was sitting on that. I don't know how long it was from that moment to this moment. And she says that, yeah, what did she say? Hold on, let me find it. That Todd was making out with one of her hot friends, okay? One of her hot friends and farting. Mary Cosby, I had to record this. Mary Cosby says, she said, what is going on? Like, that is not normal. And this is why I love Mary Cosby, because she gives you a moment. Hold on, let me just send this to my computer so you guys can hear it clearly. Okay? Mary Cosby, again, for those that don't find Mary funny, like, every single week I can find and give you an example of Mary Cosby being funny. Okay? There are so many countless moments that I never expect from her. That I was like, wait a minute, Mary. I know they called him the Gout D. Now he's passing gas while making out with people. Do we think that Todd is cheating on Bronwyn? Well, based off of Bronwyn's reaction, I wish she never gave them that reaction, because it was definitely giving, oh, it might be true. But again, I'm a Taurus. You're never going to see me sweat. Take a listen to what Mary had to say in regards to the kissing the hot lady and passing gas.
This has nothing to do with me believing this rumor or being worried about this rumor, but this proves Lisa is spreading rumors about me. She's never going to stop trying to eviscerate every aspect of my life. So, we're done.
Did you repeat all your conversations?
If someone told me my husband was making out with someone and farting, I don't know which one I'd be more devastated about. I mean, it's both of it's just embarrassing. And then what's wrong with his intent? Why is he farting?
I know it's very low, y'all. Maybe I can play it better from here, because to me it was hilarious. Hold on. Ah.
of my life. So
Did you repeat all your conversations?
if someone told me my husband was making out with someone and farting, I don't know which one I'd be more devastated about. I mean, it's both of it's just embarrassing. And then what's wrong with his attempt? Why is he farting?
this has nothing to do with me.
Why is he farting? Why? Mary wants to know. You know, Mary's always worried about your health, especially your digestive health. Shanika says, Taurus here. Never see me sweat, right? I thought that was hilarious. Okay, I thought that was hilarious. There are so many moments where Mary just makes me laugh, and she changes the mood. Okay, but she's like, she's not sure what she's mad more about: the kissing the hot lady or the passing gas. I don't know either, Mary. I don't know either. Exactly. Rita says Mary really does not like flatulence. Who does? Who does? All right, but anyway. I mean, it's a natural. I mean, let it out, y'all. It's not good if you keep it in. They say let it out. Just go to the bathroom and let it out. Just don't let it out while you're kissing someone. All right. We had that moment. Okay. All right. Bronwyn thinks about what Todd said to her. She goes back to her room and they do a voiceover of what Todd said about her not going on this trip. Okay. So she's thinking about that, but she's like, you know what? You know what's going to piss off Lisa more? Me having a good time. Even though she's like, I probably should not have come on this trip. Especially because now there's another thing in regards to Todd. Do you guys believe that she actually called Todd? Because later she mentions that, you know, she did tell her family about this rumor. She's like, I have nothing to be ashamed about. So of course I told Todd. I don't believe she did because Todd already told her he does not want to hear it. And I already know she's not going to call him and tell him after he says, if you go, I don't want to hear about anything because I warned you about fighting with Lisa. I wonder if he also knew that there are people that she knew. And that's why he also did not want her to go. I don't know. Stacey says that Mary said the dog passed gas, not her. Yeah. This is the season of passing gas. And Mary Cosby. All right. All right. So moving on from there, where was I? All right. So Angie says that she tried to stand up to Lisa. So they end up going to the beach and they're hanging out on the beach. Okay. So Angie pulls Bronwyn to the side and she apologizes to her and she says, you know, I wish I had, you know, I wish I was a more supportive friend to you. She did say that she did stand up to Lisa about that Todd rumor, kissing the hot girl and the flatulence of it all. Okay. But it seems like she's trying to mend the fence there because you have to think about it. The fact that Angie was the one to bring that to the table and bring it on camera. I could see Bronwyn being upset with her too, but she wasn't really upset with her. Would you be upset with Angie instead of pulling Angie to the side and telling her? I mean, it still would have been on camera probably. All right, so we have this moment where Lisa's talking to Mary and how she feels like Meredith has not really been supportive. And Mary agrees with her. Mary says that she finds it bizarre that Meredith doesn't support Lisa more. And then Meredith is coming over, so she brings that up and she's talking about it. I don't know how this turns into a fight between Mary and Meredith, but it does. And Mary says to her, "You're not a good friend." And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she's like, "You're boring." I'm like, what? And Meredith's like, "Oh, well, I feel like I have a lot of things that are very interesting about me." Okay. That seems to be the thing that Mary has called Meredith multiple times this season and in interviews as well. So she's like, "And you're boring." And Meredith's just like, and look, Mary has her perspective. I don't agree with Mary because I'm like, what do you expect from Meredith? Do you guys want her to draw blood at this particular point? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I feel like Meredith has been a supportive friend. What do you want her to do? Look like an idiot like Heather did, supporting her when she could be wrong? Just saying. And even her support of Lisa, I'm like, Meredith, this seems like a reach. It feels like you guys have formed some sort of alliance. Remember, we've said that already this season. A. Schneider says that Meredith is boring. Time to go. I mean, I've said that before. You already know. I think her personal scenes are terrible, but there are moments when she loses it that are funny. Like we have our look. If y'all had listened to me, we wouldn't have had this moment. We wouldn't have this moment if y'all had listened to me. I'm just saying. I could throw myself under the bus. Just saying. Nelson the Virgo says, I love me a good Meredith crash out. This is a good cast. If there was anyone on this cast that had to go, who would it be? Let me look. Let me look at this cast. If anyone on this cast had to go, and you can't be Britani because Britani is a friend of. I'm talking about the cast, the main cast. Of this cast, who would I think that would need to go? Honestly, it'd be between Bad Weather. Honestly. And probably more so Whitney than Heather. Sorry. But, yeah. Foxy says Brit. I said you can't pick Britani. All right? Miss Melly Magic says Whitney. You guys let me know. If you're part of the replay crew, don't forget, guys, we are live talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on the episode, how you'd rate this week's episode, and your thoughts on how the episode went. I was thinking Meredith as well, but, there's some things. I'm like, not Whitney in the chat. Okay, let's move on. So Meredith and Mary get into it, and Meredith ends up walking away. Okay. Heather and Bronwyn seem to be getting along, and she's like, she's mad at herself for being so stubborn about not befriending Bronwyn a lot earlier. I don't know what it is, y'all. I feel like Heather is playing to the audience. Now all of a sudden she wants to be a Bronwyn fan after I think she saw a lot of people gravitated towards Bronwyn last season. A lot of people did. It's just kind of weird behavior. But it seems like Lisa and Heather made amends last night. S. Foster says, at least Whitney opens up about her life. Well, you got a good point there. I mean, y'all say open up about her life, but is that the real truth? I'm not sure if it's the real truth, to be honest with you. Okay. All right, so the group ends up playing some games. Fine. Heather jokes while playing one of the games. She's like, the have you ever game, and she's like, well, have you ever farted while making out with someone? And everyone was like, too soon, Heather, too soon. But it was hilarious. Okay, I thought that was funny. So then they start playing this other game where they're supposed to be running and then necking off. I've never heard that term before, but they love it. And Britani ends up falling on her face, and Bronwyn loves it. She was like, oh my gosh, if I could get that framed. Okay. Then they end up having their beach day. They end up going back to the boat. Angie runs to Michael and says, can you blow dry my hair? Okay. That's something that happens on these yachts, y'all. Because I know some people will be like, oh my God, that's so like, oh. That's something that happens on these yachts where the crew, especially for those that watch Below Deck, there have been a lot worse that some of these guests have asked the crew to do. So Angie asked Michael to blow dry her hair. So he ends up blow drying her hair. And she's like, oh my God, you did such a good job. Okay. Heather apparently wants Captain Jason to have dessert with them, but he has to be topless. Okay. Back in Angie and Mary's room, we have Bronwyn, who's putting on those inflatable costumes, and she wants Angie to do it with her. So they start putting it on, and they say, okay, let's go to the hallway so it's going to be too big for this room. So as they're trying to come out of the room, Angie's hand is on the door, and the door, oh my God, I watched it again this morning, and I was like, ouch. Like she was throwing up the day before, and now, mind you, at the beginning, like you didn't see any blood. Then all of a sudden, as she's walking down the hallway, it's so much blood. I think she must have like hit her nail. Oh my God! I was like, oh my God! And then Captain Jason comes in. He's like, he can't help but laugh because she's in this costume and she's had another accident. I'm like, what is going on with Angie? I blame Lisa. Might as well. Everyone's blaming everything else on Lisa. Right? All right. So, poor thing. So much blood. So much blood. So the ladies start getting ready for their zombie dinner. Okay. Who had the best costume? Let me know in the chat who you felt had the best costume. I have to say Bronwyn did, but Bronwyn is about having a costume. Okay. So I'm not surprised. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Special K. Special K was watching on X. She says, hey, hi, Kempire. I'm going to join you on YouTube for that ad revenue, child. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's how we make a living over here, y'all. Let me drop the calling link before we get into the zombie dinner. And let me know who had the best costume. Just the fact that Bronwyn had that, which octopus on her face, I was like, I'm here for it. The other person I felt like that was a close second probably would have been Heather. I can't remember what Angie had on. I can't remember. But I have to say for the most part, they all were kind of eh. But I really enjoyed Bronwyn's look. All right, so if you remember, I dropped the calling for you guys on the community tab, the post tab, whatever you want to call it. And keep liking the video if you haven't liked the video already. And if you like my shirt, my sweatshirt, I should say, it's available now on the houseofkempire.com along with other Kempire merch. There are t-shirts available. There's tour merch for the villain era available. That will only be available till the end of the year. In the new year, it's a new era. So tour merch will not be there. So if you came to the tour, go get yourself some merch. Some of you were asking for merch during the live shows. Go get your tour merch because there might not be any. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the zombie dinner. So Mary has to send back her drink because she says there are lips on the on it. And she's like, they don't match my lips because my lips are not that small. Okay. All right. Bronwyn said that she told Gwen and Todd about the whole kissing and farting rumors. So she said she told them about it. And she's like, of course. She's like, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I don't believe she said anything. If she told anybody, she probably told herself. Okay? As she talked to herself. Todd already told you, I don't want to hear anything about this trip. Okay? Do you believe the rumors? I know I've asked this already, but do you guys believe the rumors? I believe the rumors. That's very specific. You know? That's very specific. He was kissing some hot girl and passing gas? And then it makes me wonder, is that why she said the gout D? No, she said the gout D because of something that Bronwyn told her a few years ago. And then she turned it into, she said Bronwyn told her as a joke. So there's always a little truth to Lisa's jokes. Okay. All right. So she told that, and she says she claims that Todd wonders why the husband is always the punchline. Okay, girl. Lisa, then in this moment, I was actually surprised. Was anyone else surprised? I was surprised that Lisa was apologizing. Not to say that the apology meant anything. It definitely didn't mean anything to Bronwyn. She acknowledged it, but it didn't mean anything to her. She was just like, when someone apologizes and they're talking directly to you, you need to apologize. Kay Saunders says, I love my QVC Christmas tree. I have another one, my original one. For those that have been following the channel, the one that used to be in the studio with the snow flocked, that was from QVC too. I'm going to donate that one. But last year I had one as well for those that saw my tree here in the apartment, but that ended up getting damaged, so I ended up ordering a new one. I generally like their trees. So I was waiting for them to up. I'm so glad I didn't order the ones that they had up until yesterday. But anyway, we've digressed. Let's focus. All right. So Brittany ends up feeling, well, first of all, Lisa acknowledges bringing up the family, and she apologized. I'll never bring up the family again. I don't know if I believe that. But she says that I will never, she said this already, I will never bring up the family again. Singer DST says that Lisa saying sorry means nothing. Especially if you do it again. Eddie says, farting and making out. Come on, Kemp. Lisa made that up after hearing about the Mary Angie fart fight. Really? That's how she pieced it together? Okay, maybe. I don't think so. Okay. Care Bear says I put up my Christmas lights yesterday. Get Care Bear. No, I'm playing. Leave Care Bear alone. Ann says, why would a hot woman make out with Todd? Have we not met? If a man with money and Todd, he's grumpy and older, but if he's willing to buy you a drink, just like, and maybe more. Come on now. Let's not play, naive. There are plenty of women, good-looking women, willing to be with an old crotchety man at the first of the month. Okay. Oh, one time for the poor ladies having to deal with that. Just saying. Shout out to them. It's the first of the month. They got mortgages to pay, rent to pay. Okay. Oh yes. Let me just see. Shout out to everyone that's backstage that wants to call in and share their thoughts. If you're a member, live chat. Once we get to 300 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. We're talking about the latest episode of the Housewives of Salt Lake City. I saw we had a super chat. Another one from our friend Nia. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, Lisa snaps when people say John, double standard. You got a point. But technically, she didn't bring up. Look, technically, she didn't bring it up. Angie brought it up. But she did. I'm trying to remember the timeline. Because that episode, when they did the Karen Huger of it all, was that before or after Bronwyn's conversation with Lisa? I can't remember now. Because then, technically, Lisa's innocent. Technically, Lisa's innocent. Exactly, Winter. Thank you for bringing it up. Speaking of which, Tracy Morgan the other day walking around New York City with a baddie. Yeah. That's a perfect example. Rich man walking around with this young thing. Tika says, Kempire, are you okay? I am okay. Get your merch today. What shirt? Okay. All right. Moving on, because I gotta go. Hold on, y'all. I gotta go. So, what else? Oh, Brittany ends up getting sick, y'all. Brittany ends up getting sick, and she goes over to the side of the boat to throw up. Why not go to the bathroom? That's gross. To just throw up in the water, because the thing is, when people throw up, it doesn't mean like it's going to be a perfect shot to the water. It's going to go on the side of the boat, possibly, maybe go on the deck, and then the deck crew has to clean that up. Elsie, it's called the post tab on my profile. If you go to my YouTube channel and you see the options, you'll see it says post. That's where I posted it for members. They changed it. Before it used to be called the community tab. Deborah says Lisa is never innocent. Dominic says the lounge conversation was after the Clarity luncheon. Okay, thank you so much, because I couldn't remember, Dominic. So then, look, Lisa to blame. Look, Lisa's to blame. Look, I'm not saying that Lisa is innocent, y'all. What I'm saying is, based off of what they've given us on the show, in regards to who could have leaked this information to the blogs when it comes to this criminal record, I was like, okay, the evidence is not evidencing for me. Like, give me some evidence, and I could be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's just the evidence did not evidence for me. Okay. All right. So Brittany ends up getting seasick. She goes to throw up overboard. She comes back, and then she takes a shot of tequila. And Meredith is like, why would you do that? Like, why are you doing that? Like, honestly, I don't know if it's a real concern, but I would have thought the same thing. If you're throwing up, why are you taking a shot of tequila unless you're throwing up for other reasons? Oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not throwing up because of seasickness. Because I don't think, look, does tequila heal seasickness that I don't know about? I don't know. That don't make no sense to me. But all right. But then this leads to an argument. Even though the ladies are like, Meredith, leave it alone. It's her choice. Leave it alone. So Brittany is just like, you know what? I mean, I don't know why you're so concerned about me. I see on TikTok Meredith's husband. Everyone's talking about Meredith's husband. Oh. And then they flash to a scene with Whitney and Brittany. Whitney does not like Meredith. So Meredith's like, she's like, oh, this TikTok user is talking about how an Uber driver said that she saw Seth in her Uber with another woman. Meredith's just like, I don't have an open marriage. I am in a monogamous marriage with Seth. Okay. She says, you're just jealous because you can't hold down a man. And Meredith is holding down half of New York.
Yeah.
She's holding down half of New York. So then there's that. I mean, I don't blame Meredith for feeling the way that she feels. Meredith gets so upset. She takes off her costume and she flings it. And she's like, here she goes throwing things at me again. And she's like, I didn't throw anything at you. She's like, you tried to splash me with water and I pushed it away. She put in her Instagram bio, what, waterbender? I can't with Meredith. I can't. Not waterbender. I mean, when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, she is kind of like a waterbender. The water just sort of went, shh. Okay. We see you, Meredith. All right. So this leads to an argument between Meredith and Brittany. You see the segue for next week's episode. Captain Jason tried to sit down and have dessert with them. He ends up, when they start arguing, gets up and leaves. Okay, and everyone's like, look what you guys did. Brittany, Whitney and Heather are like, oh my gosh, our friend left. Y'all know what y'all doing. You're filming a show. He left to keep himself pure. Okay. All right. Let me see. Character says, Kempire, that sound is in the Kempire Hall of Fame. You're right, along with this one, unfortunately.
Set me free. I wanna be free.
I'm removing it. I'm removing it. All right, y'all. I have to go. We have a few people backstage. I am going to drop the call link for the general audience as well. All right. I will give members a solid minute because we only have members. Angel's backstage. Miss Bernice is backstage. Wendy's backstage. Alicia's backstage. El Michelle's backstage. And GC Charm is backstage. Members will get a minute. Okay. Angel, again, keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself or our sponsors. Sidebar, this is not a sponsored post. I had my Factor meals came yesterday. I had one of the meals last night. It was the chicken with Yukon mash and string beans. Oh, it hit. It hit. If you want a discount, go check out one of my sponsored videos for one of the lives. A week from last week's recap of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has it, or my Potomac recap has it. It was good. It was so good. Cindy says, I just started busting a move. You know what, Cindy? All right, let me bring up Angel. Angel, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kim, I've had that meal from Factor. That one's really good. And so is the blackened salmon. But I digress. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So with Lisa and Bronwyn, I think they're both lying, but I'm leaning more towards believing Lisa over Bronwyn because Bronwyn's getting caught in a few too many lies for me, but I still like her. And then for Miss Brittany, you reap what you sow, more than you sow, later than you sow, more than you sow, whatever. Because that face plant was everything. I know she didn't feel it because of all those fillers in her face, but if it were me, keep throwing her under the bus, back that thing up like Suge Knight, reverse it, go over again and over again. Justice for Olivia. That's it.
Thanks, Angel.
Bye, Kim.
Bye. All right, Miss Bernice, we're going to bring up next. Miss Bernice, everybody was asking for you, including me, this morning.
What up, though, everybody? How you doing?
Congratulations on your new mayor.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. This rec show, the host is taking over as in Brittany and Whitney. Whitney is still gonna be Whitney. She's backstabbing. She's gonna be bringing the dirt and then playing innocent. Her and her cousin Heather, they the same. They one in the same. They do their dirt and then they play innocent. I don't feel sorry for Brittany. Brittany, like I said, is Sammy Joe trying to be Alexis. But she's not smart enough to try to understand the game in order to play the game. She's still she's still 10 steps behind. Meredith is Meredith. I was so proud of Mary when she checked her. That was so good. I said, "Yes, Mary, you're boring. How you come back from that? You don't."
Don't.
So other than that, the show was okay. I
Oh,
know I've been missing the action, but I'm back.
okay. All right. She's back in action, Miss Bernice. Well, thank you so
Hmm.
much. We're glad to hear from you.
I'm glad to see you and hear from you too.
Take care. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Wendy's backstage. We're going to bring Wendy up next. Wendy, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this week?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing? I
Um,
know long time no here. I've been listening though. I've been listening on the back. I mean, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. But just think about it. I think Heather is the one that is planning all the things. I really do
mm,
think it's Heather. And she knowing that Lisa knows all of the information as well. Lisa's going to be a great fallback guy or the person that she can throw under the bus so she can get the I'm the HBIC in the group. So I think
mm,
Heather is the one that is doing all of the talking and just blaming
mm.
Lisa. And that's it. That's
Ooh.
all I gotta say.
Okay.
And both Lisa and Bronwyn, they lying. They both lying. So it is what it is. But okay, you have a great one.
You too, Wendy. Take care. All right. Gigi said, Miss Bernice for president. I mean, the state of affairs. Hey, Bravo Babe. Bravo Babe says Lisa was in another podcaster's DMs about Bronwyn and she exposed it on her episode today. What episode? Oh, the podcaster exposed it today. I mean, look, as I said to you guys before, I don't think Lisa's necessarily innocent. I just feel like based on what they've given us on the show is not proof that she was the one that leaked the criminal history of Bronwyn. I'm basing it on the show. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, "Can we appreciate John Barlow not getting a crying phone call from Lisa this week? He finally got a day of peace." Well, technically, did he get a day of peace? Because remember, last week's episode was at night when she was calling him. We don't know. It could have been after midnight. And then we only got a day, so we don't know if he really got a night of peace. Or they just didn't show her calling him crying. Just like. Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. Amber says, "I crash out every time Kempire plays Lisa Zoran." Honestly. Either way, if Lisa comes on the show or Meredith comes on the show, I'm playing it. Just saying. So they're probably never going to come on. It's all right. I'll play it for whoever comes from Salt Lake City. Alessia is backstage. Let's bring Alessia up next. Alessia, what did you want to share?
Hi,
Alessia,
Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Okay, so about Heather. Heather give me such like like Katie Heron, like Mean Girls. She's the underdog, but she wished to be like the queen bee and talking crap about
Mm,
Lisa. I felt like she wanted to be that girl. You know what I mean? Even though like I feel like Bravo, they try to make her the eat girl, like Giselle in Potomac or like Kyle in Beverly Hills. They try, but she's not that girl. You know? And now they probably, I don't know, maybe she got more confidence. I mean, like the way she's wearing, like the clothes that she's wearing right now. I mean, she's more confident because she lost a lot of weight. And I can relate to that. I mean, I lost 8 stones, so I can understand that. But at the same time, I feel like, okay, I don't need Liz anymore. I don't need to be her pussy anymore. So now I can throw her under the bus because I know that nobody likes Lisa. You know what I mean? Also,
mm,
Lisa is kind of difficult to like because sometimes she throws jabs at people saying like, I'm better than anyone else. So I mean, it's not a hard job for Heather. You know what I mean? But I feel like like behind all that dirt, Heather is hiding and she's the one doing the dirt, all that dirt. And also Brownie. I know that Brownie is like a favorite. I don't know why. I smell some sort of divorce, something. I feel like she's playing the long game. I don't know. That's my
mm,
that's my 2 cents. Bye,
mm.
Camp. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, literally, I said some of that stuff too. I've told you, I feel like Bronwyn came on the show to get her divorce. She is playing the long game. I've also said this week that I feel like Heather might be the one behind some of these leaks because she gets the information from Lisa, which in turn kind of exposes Lisa, meaning like, oh, Lisa's the one who had the information, But did she actually leak the information? I don't think any of them are innocent. I think they all play their part. I do. All right, let's bring up El Michelle next. El Michelle, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. I love this show. This show is like, it reminds me of like back in the day when Atlanta came on. It was like must see TV. You have to be in front of the television just to see what's going on. First of all, what you just now said, I truly agree with. I feel like Lisa and Heather became close, and Lisa probably shared everything that she knew about Bronwyn, because I feel like she knew all of the information about Bronwyn because, like someone else said in the chat earlier that you showed, there's a podcaster that basically came out and basically read her DMs from right after the reunion, and most recently just reread those same things, basically showing how Lisa was so mad at Bronwyn after the reunion. She basically let her know, or let the cat out the bag, that there was some the crimes that she's being set up with now. I'm sorry, I'm not sure why I always get nervous when I call you, but
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she brought that stuff up in a conversation to another podcaster. So I feel like she thinks that she's not spreading that information, but when she gets to Mad Day and she gives all that information out, the podcast is going to take the information and run. I don't care that Bronwyn is getting bullied. Oh damn! I don't care if Bronwyn is getting bullied. Not Bronwyn. Britani is getting bullied. I don't care about a mother who doesn't look out for her kids. The Britani and the tequila, I don't think she had seasickness. I think she was just drunk. And anybody who was drunk in their 20s know that when you throw up, it's like a reset to your system, so you can keep drinking. So another tequila is just going to keep the party going. And then lastly, just two things. I'm sorry, Bronwyn, you said you have two sisters. Why haven't you called your two sisters to come get your mama? And then lastly, I want to shout out production, because without production's help, I don't think we would get the Mary that we're getting. The funny Mary, the fun Mary. So shout out to them. And thank you for giving me extra time. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, El Michelle. El Michelle doesn't call in that often. I let her, and she's a member. So, and this is my platform. All right, no one else is getting extra time. All right, no, we have a couple last callers. So let's do this. But before we get to the other callers, thank you guys so much for the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps. I don't see them until after the live, so thank you for supporting. We appreciate the super chats, but I get 100% of the Cash Apps and the Venmos and the pay, so I appreciate that. That's going to go in my Christmas fund. All right. Oh, speaking of appreciation, thank you all again for donating to our Breast Cancer Awareness Month fundraiser. We raised over $4,000. Our initial goal was $3,000. We as a community in 2 weeks raised over $4,000 for Black Women's Health Imperative, and 100% of your donation goes to Black Women's Health Imperative. So thank you to everyone that donated or shared our live or told people to donate. Thank you. Mr. Melon the Magic says, Kemp, can we remove Set Me Free when you change the why? You know what? Thank you for the super chat, Shady. Kendra, thank you for another super chat. Kendra says, I don't believe Meredith lost it at the airport or on the plane. She's not risking being on the no-fly list. I agree. Meredith is a lot more controlled. You know what I mean? Or on the boat. I think she may have had a little bit of a breakdown because she's good for a breakdown. But they could be running. I don't know. Unless they have footage, I guess we'll have to wait and see next week. Andy Cohen did say the next few episodes of Salt Lake City are, I can't remember his exact words, but he was saying like they're ones to watch. And Salt Lake City, you don't have to lie to us when it comes to Salt Lake City. Like, I believe that they're bringing it. All right, let me get to these last couple of callers. GC, thank you so much for calling in. What did you want to share about Salt Lake City? GC, are you there?
Can you hear me, Kemp?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sitting by the river looking over at Philadelphia. Here in Jersey, yes, woo! Congratulations, New York City. Congratulations, Virginia. Congratulations, California. And congratulations to New Jersey. After I said all that, let me say this. Don't all set me free, because I paid money to have that played, okay? So keep that. As far as the girls are concerned, Meredith, she needs to go. She's worthless as far as I'm concerned. Bronwyn, because she's a shapeshifter. He turned that stuff around and threw it back at him. This is a necessary evil. I'm going to say a necessary evil. I can't stand her, but she's good for the show. So that's all I have to say. And I love you, Kempire.
Thank you, GC. Bye. What in the T-Mobile? She said she was by the water, y'all. Cindy said T-Mobile in the house. Maybe it was. GC, hold on, wait. GC, you backstage. GC, do you have T-Mobile? GC, are you there?
No, I not. I'm talking to you through my iPad.
Okay. On Wi-Fi?
No, I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm talking to you through Wi-Fi. On my iPad by the water. That's why you can't hear me too well.
Okay. Okay, sorry, GC. It's coming in and out. It's coming in and out. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Missy says, T-Mobile catching strays. All right. All right. GC, we appreciate you calling in. All right. Let me take this last call. April Aries. April Aries, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. So I feel like Meredith, even though she can be boring, I would have to tell Mary, girl, your bangs that you had on those last episodes, now that was boring and uneven. Do not come for me, because Meredith has rode for Lisa like no other. So I don't understand why everybody is turning against her, especially after that infamous clip that you played. Girl, you better be lucky I'm even looking in your way. And y'all peeped how she sat back and let Britani and everybody else ragtag Meredith at that table. But if it would have been reversed, she would have been absolutely livid. And I think she did that to prove a point to Meredith. And it's very interesting that Britani and Lisa are teaming up in the next episode. But I thought Meredith was your girl pal. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad Meredith did read Britani, Ditsy Daisy, no good mama behind. Because what are you doing, girl? And I don't like Meredith, but I'm just saying, like, that don't make sense. She really do ride for Lisa other than everybody else. And that's all I had to say, Kempire. Have a good day.
You too, April. Take care. Y'all make me laugh in the comments. Anyway, thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you all for Thank you all for being here. I thought this was a solid week of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I look forward to see what next week brings in regards to the trip. But if we had to compare trips, I don't mean to compare them, but if we had to compare trips, Potomac is on a trip right now. Salt Lake City's on a trip. Which one has been more fun and entertaining to watch? I have to say, I'm going to say Salt Lake City. Not by much, but I have to say Salt Lake City. Because I've laughed a lot in regards to some of the commentary and some of the shenanigans. Salt Lake City so far. But look, we're getting trips, okay? And it's still not as bad as New York's trips. Okay. In a couple of weeks, we should have some Real Housewives of New York news. So stay tuned for that, y'all. Let me know your thoughts, Replay Crew. Let me know that you're part of Replay Crew. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you would rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And let me know your thoughts on what we had to say. All right, everyone's saying Salt Lake. Dion said Potomac. Okay. Cindy said Salt Lake. Lexi said Salt Lake. Rita said Salt Lake. Alma says Salt Lake. Shar says Salt Lake. Angel says Potomac. They never go anywhere good. Rita says the boat forces them together. Well, that's good point, because they're on the boat. They're on the boat. All right. Oh, Deborah says Salt Lake by a lot. Okay, damn. Guys, we're almost at 350 likes. Be sure to like the video. And don't forget, you can also hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today and give us a 5-star rating. Okay? Thank you, Kendra, for another super chat. Kendra says Bronwyn looks younger with long hair. Yeah, I saw her on Watch What Happens Live. I didn't watch What Happens Live, but I saw her on it. I saw when she first came out. She looked good with longer hair. But maybe she tries to look older because her husband's older? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, we'll go with that. All right. All right, y'all. I'll see you all in the next one. Our next recap will be the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. You know I go live all the time. Like, we went live last night for our Hot Topics Live. Mods, if we can post a link to last night's live, I did add the timestamps where we talked a bunch of different hot topics, because we don't just talk about Housewives or reality TV here. We talked about a lot yesterday, so be sure to check that out. You can also hear it on the Kempire podcast as well. So you never know. I might go live a little bit later on today. I am going to go get my Christmas stuff out of storage. So buckle up. Christmas time is here again. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.